how to improve efficiency in a business. Understand how you can transform your business for optimal performance. If you're tired of spinning your wheels, there's some things that you can do a little bit differently to get better outcomes. I'll share some of the unconventional methods that you can leverage to get the most out of your business. And I'm going to share one magic word, just one, that will immediately make you more efficient. You ready? Let's get started. The first thing that you want to do to increase efficiency in your business is to systematize. Now, I know the concept of creating systems can seem overwhelming to some people. If you've been in large organizations for years and you've led teams, this might not seem that daunting to you. But if you're a smaller business owner or someone who's new to the concept, creating systems probably sounds like using a lot of advanced technology and very complicated methods, but it's actually very, very simple. Systematizing is simply creating steps to get something done. Oftentimes in business, we lack efficiency because we lack clarity. We think that certain things cannot be systematized and we have to do them ourselves our way. And so we avoid passing them on or outsourcing them to other people in our organization or outside of our organization because, again, we think we have to be the ones doing it. And so when you start thinking about what can be systematized in your business or your organization, look at those tasks that are repetitive. Do they need to be done a certain way? So I'll give you an example that kind of applies in a house. Let's say that you clean your own home. There's probably a certain way that you clean your house. There's things that you start with. You start at a certain time, maybe on Saturday. You start here, then you do this next, and you have an entire process. If someone else said that they were available to clean your home, maybe a kid or another family member, some of us would say, no, we'll do it because we have our own way of doing it. When in fact, 96% is still an A, my friends. What that means is we can give some things up, but if we want them done at least similar to the way we do them, we have to create a system. So it's just a matter of the next time you're to clean your house, you'd start writing down the order with which you do things, where you find different things, how you do it. Then you could pass that on to someone else. Now, here's where things get really interesting. Once you create systems, now you can find people and technology to run those systems, so you don't have to be the one doing everything yourself. But again, it's very hard for us to create a system when we lack clarity. In addition to creating steps, one of the other things that we can use is mind mapping or decision mapping to create systems. So I'll give you an example from my own industry. I'm a professional speaker and I have a wonderful team and I don't book my own flights. Now, I'm someone who's super talented at finding great flights. For instance, I once flew from Houston to Amsterdam for I think $235, $236, something like that. So I'm great at finding good deals and putting things together. Booking flights is not a revenue generating activity for my business. And so if I were to book my own flights, I'm actually overspending on that service. And so a lot of other speakers, most other speakers, insist on booking their own flights because their whole thinking is, oh, no one's going to book it the way I would and I just need to be in charge of it. When in fact, they don't. All you need is a decision tree. So for instance, with my team, I have a tree. It actually exists. It's readable. The first question is probably something like, is there a direct flight with United to get to the location? If no, is there a direct flight with Delta? Then no, then do this. This is where we can do connections. So it's literally leading them through a path. It lets them know what time of day, what type of flight, which airlines go in what order, where I sit on the plane, everything you can think of, but it's a decision tree. And so they're going to book my flights the exact same way I would because they're using my mental processes to do it. However, if you're not clear on your processes and you think that, oh, I just know, when that's not really how our brains work, well, then we're going to be hesitant to creating systems, whether that's steps, a decision tree, or a mind map, because we think we have to do it, when in fact, we just like clarity. So now that we have systems, now we can start looking at automation. What tools can we plug our systems into so that we get the best possible results? I'll use another example in my speaking business. So I use what I suppose could be considered a project management tool, but it's an event management tool for speakers called eSpeakers. What this does is we created a system for any one of the clients that we work with on speaking engagements, so it knows 2 weeks after the contract's signed we need to send my bio and headshot. It knows we need to book the flight 45 days before the event. It knows that we need to schedule a content call with the client 2 months before the event. It knows when I need to get the presentation over to the client. So the system's been created, and for any one event that's plugged into the system, it automatically populates with the correct date. So if it knows we book a flight 45 days out, once I put in a particular event with that date 45 days before the event, the person on my team who's in charge of booking my flight gets an email saying this action item is due. So I'll be honest, speakers that maybe speak to 5 or 10 clients a year, they can manage these processes, decently with like Excel sheets or on paper. But when you're like me and you're speaking to 60 plus clients a year, that would be daunting. You would drop some balls. And so we've systematized the process and then automated so that we don't drop the ball. We always get little reminders when something is due for a different project. And so all 60 projects in a year, we know our clients are taken care of. You might use project management software. You might use paper, pen, and sticky notes, whatever works for you. Start with what makes the most sense. But eventually, technology can help you supersize your systems. We still have 3 more tips to go. But if you want a little bit more information on automation, check out my video, What Can I Automate in My Business? I mentioned earlier that I was going to give you a magic word that would automatically make you more efficient in your business. Are you ready for that magic word? Come on, lean on in. You want it, come on. That magic word is no. No, no, no. The more you give out no's, sometimes even to reasonable requests, it's going to free up your time so that you can focus on the things that are most important in your organization. When you think about saying no, sometimes we think about being overcommitted. Maybe someone asking our organization to sponsor something that would take more time than we have, or volunteer for something that we can't quite commit to, or do a training that it's just not the right time for that. But in saying no, sometimes it means we say no to clients as well. Usually with most organizations, there's particular products that they sell or services they offer. Sometimes when we have really good clients, they'll ask us to go just outside of that to craft something a little different. Now, oftentimes we'll acquiesce, we'll do it because we say, oh, we want to do this for the client. The problem is the more that we're sidetracked away from our core competency within our organization, the less efficient we become because our systems start to break down because we're doing things outside of the way we normally do them. If you're going to go outside of your normal offerings, ensure that you have boundaries in place. But in most cases, it probably is better to stick with saying no so that you can focus on the things that are your core competencies and you can deliver more efficiently and effectively to your existing clients. Efficiency is not a one and done. If you want to stay efficient in your business or find new ways to increase efficiency, it requires continuous learning and development. There's always something new out there that can help you and your organization deliver better and faster. And it's not just through vendors and salespeople that you'll find that information. Being a member of professional organizations within your industry, or even following what I call sister industries. If you have industries that are somewhat similar, but tend to be more technology advanced than you are, you might even want to watch some of their trade publications and read news articles about their organizations. You might find new ways to be efficient in your business. Lastly, if you want to increase your efficiency in your business, rely on data-driven insights versus gut instincts. If you do not know how your customers or clients might feel about a particular decision, go ahead and poll a sampling of them. Talk to your best clients, ask them for their feedback. Ask a lot of open-ended questions as well, not just if A or B is an option, but what would be the best solution to this new problem that you're having? What are we not currently offering? Make sure that you're polling your internal employees as well and keeping abreast of trends in your industry. These are the things that should be informing our decisions more so than how we feel that things are going. It's a great way to save money and time so that we're not banging our heads against the wall trying to figure out why our gut instincts are not giving us the returns we were expecting. So when we talk about those gut instincts and just how we feel about things and how that's not the best way to make decisions, I do have a free tool for you today that will help you with that as well. If you look in the description of this video, you'll see a link to download my Future Ready Playbook. In this playbook, you're going to find all kinds of tools and resources that will help you be more strategic about planning your future as well as the future of your organization. So if you haven't already downloaded it after watching a past video, make sure you take care of that right now.